Oh, yeah. 2025 Sunset Rewind. Week 11 games, otherwise known as first round of CIF. We had 5 schools enter and only 2 remain, unfortunately. But congratulations on a great season to Corona Del Mar and Marina and Huntington Beach. But the train rolls on.
Yeah, it's the playoffs, and it's very simple. If you win, you advance. If you lose, the season's over. And that's just the cold reality of it. But that's what makes it exciting because, you know, what's on the line.
It's really tough when you put it all in perspective. You know, obviously we want to congratulate all the kids who played their last high school football game, but it really shows you the finality of it. Like for probably 75% of the kids in Southern California, they're not playing football this week, but then think of all the seniors, how many people have played their last football game ever.
Yeah, it's a very surreal moment. Yeah. We've all been there at some point. The party comes to an end. So
every athlete's got to retire at some point. Yeah. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Today's episode is brought to you by Lavendi Winery. Experience world-class wines in the heart of Napa. Visit their beautiful tasting room and discover your next favorite pour at lavendiwinery.com.
So let's get right into it. We had Huntington Beach and Edison.
This was the game you and Taryn were at.
Hosted by Edison at Huntington Beach.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be a road team at home, right?
Yeah.
All right, James, cue that music. Edison would come out. Sam Thompson would find Matthew Au, his outstanding wide receiver on the screen. Nice blocking downfield. So early on, Edison would take the early lead. But Huntington Beach would come back. Brady Edmonds on fourth down would find Jameel Champion picking up a big first down. So staying aggressive paid off. The drive would continue. This time, Edmonds would throw a bubble to the man of steel, who'd find Troy Foster down the near sideline. We got a tie ball game. But Edison would come roaring back. Sam Thompson to Matthew Au. Big pickup, 45-yard gain. Matthew Au had a lights-out game, was going off in the first quarter. The drive would continue. This time, Sam would roll out to the flat, find his wingback, Sean Moran, get into the end zone, 14-7. Edison retakes the lead. They'd continue the pressure. This time, Thompson would find his wideout, Noah Roberts. Nice job looking off the first receiver, goes to his second choice, extending the drive, and then finally, Thompson would find Maddox Thomas on the swing route. He's going to walk into the end zone, so it's 21-7. Edison in control. But before the first half would end, Huntington Beach would get something going. Third down. Edmonds is going to call his own number, pick up a first down, extending the drive. From there, Edmonds is going to recognize one-on-one coverage. He's going to find Troy Foster in the back of the end zone. So it's a 21-14 ball game at this point. Right before half, though, Edison would score a field goal. So going into half, it's 24-14 in the third quarter. Huntington Beach is going to come out swinging. Foster, big pickup, gets his team down to about the 25-yard line, but that's as close as they'd get. Huntington Beach would have to settle for a field goal, and then they would actually get a safety when the punter stepped in the back of the end zone. So at that point, it's 24-19. After the free kick, Huntington Beach is going to get the ball, trying to take the lead for the first time in the ball game. Edmonds is going to find Foster, but I want you to watch Matthew Au on defense. Is going to come up, literally punch the ball out, forces a fumble, recovers the fumble. So now Edison's going to take over on their side of the field with the chance to extend their lead. And they would. The drive would continue into the fourth quarter. Maddox Thomas driving those legs. That is why we squat, my friend. Nice job. Gets into the end zone. So 31-19. Edison is up. Now they're looking to put this game away, but I want you to watch. Charles Steuben is going to come up, put his helmet right on that ball. It's going to pop out, and Evan Scruggs would recover it. So late in the game, Huntington Beach still hanging around. They got a chance. Edmonds is going to drive his team down the field. He's going to find the slot receiver on the wheel route, picks up a first down to about the 20. They'd give it a couple more shots at the end zone and come down to fourth down. Edmonds is going to drop back. He's got to have it, but the defensive back for Edison would bat it away, and that would be all she wrote for the Huntington Beach Oilers. The game would end 31-19. Great competitive game, but in the end, Edison was just too much. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Huntington Beach. It's been an honor this is the fourth year we've done the show. So this is kind of like our first graduating class, if you think about it.
That's a great point.
These guys were freshmen. So to Gavin Seguin and Steele Kurtz, Troy Foster, Giovanni Trong, Darby Warren, all those guys, those seniors graduating. First of all, gentlemen, congratulations. You should be very proud of your football careers. It was an honor and a privilege to watch you guys play and cover your games. And I know you guys are going to be very happy and successful in life. And hopefully some of you are going to play at the next level. And for those of you who don't, always take the great lessons you learn from the great game of football with you throughout life. And those lessons will benefit you greatly. But congratulations to Huntington Beach, but especially to the graduating seniors.
Taryn?
So for Edison, this was kind of a get-right game, if you ask me. I mean, Huntington Beach is a good team, but Edison had been battle-tested. They had 2 tough weeks. Well, one tough week where they held San Clemente to 10 points, but unfortunately the offense just couldn't click. Mission Viejo and Los Al were kind of clunker games. I mean, they were in at first half against Los Al, but I think for Edison, they really showed who they truly were. I think postseason Edison is kind of a scary type of Edison. I give a lot of credit to Huntington Beach. They held their own for the most part, but once they kind of got down 14, they had to play catch-up, and I just felt that they couldn't match the physicality of Edison. And even when Huntington Beach went on long drives, Edison's defense was stout, and that's kind of the big thing right there. And even when Edison got punched in the mouth, they were able to recover and just play their game, and that is a testament to Edison playing in the tough Alpha League and just basically turning it around. And I give a lot of credit to Huntington Beach. They had a great season, great first year under Matthew Hatchett. They're only going to go up from here, especially with the likes of Edmonds returning and Dylan Bruce returning and a bunch of others returning. But this is Edison's time to shine, and they are off to the quarterfinals.
I agree. As far as Edison goes, from that perspective, this was the second week in a row I was at an Edison game. This was 2 different offenses compared to what we saw last week against San Clemente, where they never really quite got it going. Defense stepped up against San Clemente, obviously, but defense did a great job this week, with Huntington Beach. But the big question mark was Edison's offense, and they showed up. They put up 31 points on the board. I'll be honest with you. Somebody asked me before the game what I thought the score would be, and I said, I think Edison 35-28, and it ended up being 31-19. So Edison answered the call. The offense was going, and Jeff Grady, as usual, the game plan they had to neutralize Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach is going to get their yards and their points, but Troy Thomas and that defensive staff put together a great game plan. Jeff Grady had a great offensive game plan, and the Chargers move on.
Yeah, it's tough to say goodbye. Like you said, this is our 4th year. We've gotten to know these players, their parents, the coaches, and so we're a lot more emotionally invested. Huntington had a great year. They were fun to cover. They did a lot of great things on both sides of the ball, even special teams, but at some point it's got to come to an end. They played well, but at the end, Edison was too much. For Edison, I was never worried about their record. It's like Notre Dame. They're 5-5, but look at the schedule. They're going to be fine. They're very battle-tested. I thought Sam Thompson was lights out, 15-19, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was in control. Just a great, solid win. So Edison moves on with the possible, and they got to take care of business at Inglewood, but man, can you imagine them and PV possibly?
Palos Verdes Edison again.
2 CIF and state champions locking horns, but that's down the road. Worry about Inglewood. Yeah. We got another game to cover.
Well, one more thing. I just got to give Matthew Ow his flowers. He had 97 receiving yards in the first quarter alone, and he played both sides of the ball as he had a big pass breakup on 3rd down. I think it was on Huntington's final drive or second to last drive. He was really big for the Chargers, so I think Matthew Ow deserves a lot of credit. And the run game was so underrated, especially without Sam Edmiston, and Anthony Godinez returned from injury as well, so that was something to note. So I got to give Max Thomas and Anthony Godinez their flowers.
No, they've got depth, and they got guys coming back. That's kind of what worried me with their running back being out, but they've got depth, and they overcame that, so good for them.
Los Alamitos.
Okay, this is the game I was at. Los Al at home, actually at the Vet. I think it was like their 11th venue in 12 games or whatever it is. But anyway, they were hosting a very good Yorba League champion game. Did I say that right? League championship team.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get this thing going. Cue the music, please, James. All right. Early on, it was all Yorba. Noah Trujillo, their quarterback, is going to call his own number, pick up 30 yards on the first drive, and he's got his team set up near the red zone. From there, Noah Trujillo is going to find the other Trujillo, his brother Isaiah, on a screen pass. Nice blocking downfield by the O-line. And 20 yards later, he is in the end zone. So, Yorba strikes first, taking a 7-0 lead. More Yorba. They'd get the ball back. And this time, Trujillo is going to find his outstanding wide receiver, Caleb Zamora, 6 yards downfield. How does he get that open? But the defense would recover, tackle him short of the end zone. But it wouldn't matter because just a couple plays later, into the second quarter, Yorba would finish off the drive. This time, Isaiah Trujillo into the end zone. So 14-0, second quarter, possible upset alert. However, Los Al would come back. Beckham Hoffman is one of the biggest guys in the field. I do not know how you don't put hands on him. Untouched down the middle, 75 yards to the end zone. And just like that, Los Al's back into this ball game. But Yorba wasn't going anywhere. This time on the fake fly sweep, Williams Donaher is going to find Michael Cecido down the far sideline. So again, they continue to apply offensive pressure all night long, certainly in the first half. And then Von Sharp is going to cut back to the left into the end zone. So it's 21-7, all Yorba in this first half. Now, big play of the game, the defense for Los Alamitos. Logan Moore, 6'5", is going to get his hands up. Knocks down the screen pass, back to the quarterback who fumbles it. Gavin Vera sees the ball on the ground, picks it up, scoop and score. Big play for the Los Al team. Great play by the defense, and now it's 21-14. But in the closing seconds of the first half, Trujillo to Roberts gets 1 foot into the end zone, so with 4 seconds left, Yorba goes back up 28-14 in total control. All right, late in the third quarter, Yorba's going to get aggressive. Blitz, both their inside backers. Colin Creason recognizes it, gets outside the pocket, gets outside the contained man, and finds guess who? Lenny Ibarra, back of the end zone. Who wants it more? Lenny wants it more. We've got a 7-point ball game. Now, fourth down. Los Al's going to get the ball back. No, they're not. I take that back. Bailey's going to be aggressive on his own 32, going out. He's going to go for it. Lenny Ibarra jumps the route, but can't quite pick it. But Los Al would take over on their side of the field, and a couple plays later, Lenny would atone for that drop pick 6. It's going to bounce to the outside, running around defenders, running through defenders, running over defenders. We've got a tie ball game. No, we don't. They would miss the PAT, so Los Al's still down by 1. Okay, just over a minute left in the game. 3rd and 11. Big play. Creason is going to find Camden Tillis wheeling out of the backfield. Great sideline pickup. Gets him set up. 1st and goal situation. On the very next play, Camden Tillis again. It's going to bounce to the outside, cut back in, get into the end zone. So now Los Al, about a minute left, takes a 5-point lead. Now they're up 5. I don't know why they're going to kick a PAT. That makes no sense. Never mind, they're not kicking a PAT. They're going for a 2, of course. Come on. Creason would find his wingback, Gavin Avila. So with just under a minute left, Yorba is going to come back. Last play of the game. Ibarra is going to pick it, sealing it for the gutty little Griffins. Los Al will go on to take a knee, and that'd be game, set, match. The Griffins get the W, and they're back in the quarterfinals.
Ray Fenton, why would you kick the extra point? He never planned on it.
How did Yorba not see that coming?
Oh, boy.
You don't go for 5 with a minute left. Anyway.
So you're texting me during that game, and Los Al's down the whole way, and I'm like, wow, Yorba Linda's going to pull this off. And then when you text me with the win, I was like, all right, they fought back. Lenny Ibarra is a dude. I can't say that enough times. And Los Al just finding a way to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and they won a hard-fought game. And props to Yorba Linda. I mean, that's a well-coached football team. It's well documented how good they are. And Jeff Bailey, it's no mistake that he's won 4 CIF championships at 2 different schools.
Let me say real quick, Yorba Linda came out in that first half. We're the better team.
Yeah.
They looked clean. They were executing. Los Al looked flat. We all were wondering, is this a mission hangover?
Right.
But they hung around. They kept it close. They made the necessary halftime adjustments and were able to kind of ultimately overcome the adversity.
And how about your neighbor, Gavin Vera?
Scoop and score, baby.
Pride of the Los Alamitos Highlands, the neighborhood.
The king of Reagan Street. Taryn?
Yeah, amazing comeback from Los Alamitos, and that scoop and score was probably the play of the game because Yorba was up 14 and
With the ball.
Yeah, with the ball, and if they go down and they score, they're up 3 scores, and it's a whole different outlook going into halftime and going into the second half. So you really got to give credit to Los Alamitos for their gritty resilience. I think the San Clemente and Mission Viejo losses were kind of the best thing for them, and that's a weird thing to say, but
I get what you're saying. I get where you're going.
That makes sense, Taryn. That's a good point.
yeah, but honestly, those losses might have been the best thing for them because they learned a lot from those losses. And Yorba, we've gone over their games the past 3 weeks. We know what to expect with them. They're not one-dimensional. They're a very special team, and they deserve their flowers. But Los Alamitos, they came up big defensively. They cleaned it up offensively. They just proved why they were in the very so tough Alpha League. They proved why they were 8-0 going into the last 2 weeks of the season. And now they're proving why they belong in the quarterfinals. And they get another Bravo League team and their future Alpha League opponent in San Juan Hills. And I'm certain we're going to be seeing Yorba Linda Los Alamitos in the Alpha League next year.
Let me bring up a couple stats that stood out to me. Second half for Los Al, they shut out Yorba Linda, a very good Yorba Linda team. They got a shutout. Colin Creason was 14 of 16, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. And here was the stat that really amazed me. The 2 running backs for Yorba Linda only combined for 65 yards. They are a ground and pound team. The damage they did actually was through the air, but Los Al's front seven did a good job containing that run game, which I thought might have been the difference.
Well, you talk about Creason. You said he's 14 to 16 overall. You know what he was in the second half? 10 of 10.
We talk about Lenny Ibarra. That guy is the glue that really keeps that offense together. He's clean. He makes good decisions. I'm a big Creason fan. He's a darn good quarterback.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason why they're in the quarterfinals. Well, should we give a little toast to the Griffins? I want to thank the Solier family for making these really cool cups. A little Starbucks in the morning. Congratulations, quarterfinals. Los Al, Edison, keep it rolling.
Yep.
We are now Alpha Rewind. But before we continue, now a word from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Lavendi Winery. Experience world-class wines in the heart of Napa. Visit their beautiful tasting room and discover your next favorite pour at lavendiwinery.com. Back to you guys.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the Week 11 games.
Let's
talk about, that's going to do it for the games we got film on.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, Marina was out in Palm Desert, and CDM was out in San Diego somewhere.
Murrieta.
I don't know what time they came home, but when their season comes to an end, they're not going to go back and break down huddle film. So I requested it. I don't even think it's posted yet. So I get that. It's been a long season for those guys. Coach T and Coach Heddig, they're also husbands and dads. They got to go back and be family guys. So
congratulations to all the seniors at those schools too.
Yeah, I'm heated about the whole
CDM
CDM thing. That whole, they go from 9-0 to at least co-league champs to maybe not league champs on paper to having to be a 1 seed in Division III to playing a team that was almost D1 had they taken an extra team.
And we always catch up with Coach Kevin Heddig. We usually have lunch with him a couple times a year, so I'm sure we'll get the whole his whole side of the season and how it evolved and what transpired.
It's I don't want to say rip-off city, but I really enjoyed watching that team. You think about Annette, who's just a playmaker,
James,
all those
Dorset
receivers,
Stecker.
the no-name defense, it became big names because of all those guys. It should not have ended that. They should have been in D3 where they had a darn good chance to make a run.
In Marina, you got Francis Saporito.
Yeah, we got to say bye to those guys too. Yeah. But hey, that's just how it goes. Only one team's gonna be a champion per division, and so at some point it's gonna be Heartbreak City. But it doesn't take away from a phenomenal season. The future looks bright for all those teams, but that's life in the big city, I guess.
Yeah, it's to be celebrated, but it's also somber. Like I said, to watch those seniors have played their last high school football game. But the good thing is they're all such wonderful human beings. They're all going to be successful in life. If this is indeed the last football game they played, you look at a guy like Francis Saporito. I mean, the sky's the limit for a guy like him. So to all the seniors, hope to see you play in college. But if not, if this is a career, congratulations. And like I said earlier, take these wonderful lessons that you've learned from this great game, this amazing game, and let those lessons guide you through life.
The playoffs can be the best time of the year, but it's also the worst time of the year because we have to say goodbye, and that's never the easiest thing.
Well,
All right.
I guess that'll do it. We will be back next week. We know we got another week of football. We got Edison taking on
Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Sentinels.
Yeah, and then we got, of course, Los Al versus future Alpha League foe, San Juan Hills. So looks like it's going to be another great week of football. Hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and X, and the social media sites there. Please go to our website, sunsetrewind.com. Plenty of great content on there, not just football, other sports as well. Thank you to James Krupe today for directing and producing. Taryn Rodriguez, the best reporter in the business. Of course, Myron Patios Jr., the best at breaking down film ever. We'll be back next week.
Stretch.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great week, everyone. Be nice to each other. Take care, and God bless.